Hi, and welcome to my channel. This is me, Evan, sailing on my sailboat, Dacia. I've been living on Dacia for nearly 5 years now, so sailing and living on the ocean has become a part of who I am. This channel's purpose is to document my travels, inspire others,
This is amazing!
and motivate myself to keep chasing this dream. Right now, I'm anchored off Cat Island in the Bahamas. And on this week's episode, the goal is to get myself staged for my 1,000 nautical mile solo sail I'll be setting out on in the next week or two. So let's get to it. So today I set off for Great Inagua. It's a 250 nautical mile sail. 220 actually, as the crow flies, but it's probably going to be more than that because the wind's going to be weird. So come along with me as I prepare myself to get to Great Inagua so then I can sail to Guatemala. That was brutal, but here I go.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands, strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law, hope they won't shoot me down soon. They sing on a sleepless night, try to catch me howling at the moon. Try to catch me howling at the moon. Try to catch me howling at the moon.
Now this area I'm in has a lot of coral heads. A lot of them are under the water, so it's better to do this. Well, actually, all of them are under the water, but what I mean by that is that it's not likely I'm able to hit any of them. So usually you want to navigate through places like this when the sun's higher in the air and you can see them. But what I've got here is satellite charts, and the water is so clear you can actually see the coral heads. See all those little dots? There's me. So you can see the coral heads off the charts. All right, I'm gonna get myself out of here. I'll come back when I'm out to sea. We've now cleared through all the coral heads. We're in 60 feet of water. There's a drop off right in front of us, and we're gonna be out to sea. As I've kind of cleared land to my port side, the wind has picked up a lot. So I've actually put a double reef in the main. We're sailing pretty close to the wind, and the boat's heeling over maybe 15 degrees. As I mentioned at the start of this video, I'm currently sailing to Great Inagua. Great Inagua is the farthest south island in the Bahamas, and it's positioned directly between Cuba and Haiti, just north of the passage in between those two places. And that passage is called the Windward Passage. It's only about 220 nautical miles from Cat Island to Great Inagua. Usually I try to pick my passages so that I can almost take it on a straight shot, but just the time of year it is right now and the way the weather's been, it's very difficult to try to go south. You might be wondering, like, why wouldn't I just throw my diesel engine on and motor there in 40 hours or so? Sail most of the way and motor the rest of the way. Well, I don't actually have an engine on this boat. When I first bought Dacia, I didn't intend to sail without an engine. But now that I've sailed just over 5,000 nautical miles without one, I've learned to love it. It's taught me to slow down, to appreciate where I am rather than where I'm going. And that it's not about how fast I get somewhere, but instead, really experiencing the moments along the way. The day's starting to come to an end, and I have no idea how I'm sailing so fast still. And by fast, I mean like 3 and 4 knots. Tonight's supposed to calm down. It'd be sweet if I could maintain this speed, because somehow I'm still going 4 knots, but it's likely that the wind just dies off. Today is day 2 of the long, slow sail south. We sailed 108 nautical miles in the last 24 hours, which is surprisingly good because we haven't had a whole lot of wind. We're starting to lose the wind. The boat's trying to sail, but it's not doing a very good job. Hopefully we have some wind pickup. I'm just hoping it does come around the way it says it's going to, and I haven't gone so far east that I'm incapable of going south now. But that's kind of what I got myself into with this sail, knowing that it was going to be light, fluky winds. And if you go to sea without an engine, you kind of have to rely on the winds. So they're trying to find somewhere to rest on my boat, but the solar arch would be the best spot for you guys. With the sun setting and the wind gradually dying off, there really wasn't much to do but sit back and watch the cargo ship that was off in the distance pass by. However, it really didn't take long for the rolling seas and the slatting sails to start getting to me. Oh, the wind. It is in these moments I often have to remind myself to remain present. The feeling of not progressing forward can easily creep in. So I wait. And just as it always does, the wind returns. that was a pretty easy night. Over the next 2 days, there's supposed to be east, northeast, east, southeast, kind of variable winds, but mostly out of the east, meaning I can hopefully go straight south, because I'm far enough east now that the heading I need is pretty much straight south with a little bit of southwest in it even, to get back, or to get to Great Inagua. If this wind stays, which it's really not playing nice right now, but if it does, there's a chance that I could get to Great Inagua by tomorrow afternoon. Very small chance. It all depends on how much wind I end up getting and if I can hold a course at over 4 knots. I'm currently going 2. So, not super likely, but things can change super quickly when you're out here, so it's always a chance. Right now the wind's dying off and it's starting to come out of the east more, so instead of being set up for a close hauled position, I'm just gonna ease off on the sails a little bit, see if I can catch a little more of the wind and stop us from pointing up so high. All right, those little changes did kind of put us on course. Still moving along at 3 knots, which is quite impressive for the light winds here. And I'm pointing where I need to go, so that's good. My hydrovane, I'll explain this guy. It pretty much turns this motion up top, which is the vane, into this motion down below, which is the rudder. So you turn the vane so it's directly into the wind, and then say the boat starts to turn to starboard away from the wind, it'll get pushed over this way, and then that'll force the rudder to steer in the opposite direction, rounding the boat back up into the wind. The hydrovane stands back up. Say it turns too far up into the wind, it'll get knocked down the other way. The rudder will steer the opposite direction, this way, and it'll turn itself away from the wind. It's very small adjustments, meaning that you need to have the sails balanced really well and the boat sailing straight for the rudder to actually, or for the hydrovane to have an effect. But it's awesome. If I didn't have this thing, I wouldn't be solo sailing right now. It steers my boat 95% of the time. Looking like I made it to Great Inagua faster than I thought I would, which is good, but I was hoping I'd be able to check out and then just leave for Guatemala as soon as possible. The weather is not showing a very good passage between Cuba and Haiti, and I've been told that there's some crazy stuff going on around Haiti. Some of my friends got approached on their boat a couple years back. I really don't want to be becalmed beside Haiti. I'd rather be able to just cruise right through it without stopping. So there's a good chance that I wait here for a couple days, and I'm a little worried about it because the anchorages here are pretty rolly. This anchorage I'm sailing into goes from hundreds of feet deep to shallow in seconds, and also has coral heads scattered along the coastline. I've got to pick my spot carefully to avoid the anchor chain swinging into one while I'm here. It makes for some tricky sailing. See all the dark spots in the water? Those are coral heads. As I approach my anchor spot, I roll in the rest of the head sail and begin turning into the wind. See how the mainsail starts flapping? That's because the wind is directly in front of the boat. Once she starts losing forward momentum, I go and release the mainsail halyard. This drops the mainsail a bit and helps stop me from sailing forward. Then I go and drop the anchor, panning out chain evenly as she drifts back. Once the anchor catches, you'll see how she turns back into the wind and the mainsail starts flapping again. Now it's time to bring the sail down. All right, anchor's down, time to rest. So today I need to check out of the country. Mosquito. Ugh. This area had a bunch of mosquitoes last night, and as soon as the sun went down, they started coming out, so I put up a whole bunch of my my netting, and it wasn't too bad last night. But anyways, there's a 7-mile trip I need to go on to get to the marina to check out of the country. I also want to do some last minute provisioning, try to take some trash in, see if I can fill up about 10 gallons of water and have some lunch. So that's the plan for today. But right now we need to go get the dinghy in the water. All right, so dinghy's in the water. Now, just got to get the outboard out of here. that's on now. Now I just need to get all the little stuff put on it and we can start heading to shore. W. As I showed up to the dock, a man from shore called out to me. Yep. I'm trying to check out.
What's the name of your boat?
Dacia. D-A-C-I-A. Dacia.
Okay. And which port are you heading to?
I'm going to Livingston, Guatemala.
Livingston? Guatemala?
Yeah, Guatemala, yeah.
Okay, I'll be back. Give me about 10-15 minutes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Wow. So some guy just came by and asked me which port I'm going to and for my boat name and said he'll be back in 15 minutes to clear me out. So hopefully that goes well. Turns out today was the day the cargo ship comes in to offload supplies and food to the island. Half of Matthewtown was at the dock picking up their stuff. Kemp, the customs guy, showed up and gave me my clear-out paperwork. This was a super unofficial way of doing this, but that's the Bahamas for you. While I was clearing out, Kemp told me today was actually a holiday, so I got pretty lucky running into him. However, this meant everything was closed, so I wasn't able to get any of my errands done. I guess it's back to the boat for me. Well, I got a couple of my jobs done. The main one I needed to do was check out of the country, and that's completed. Next episode, I get hit by a storm at anchor. Oh my god. Decide to run back into town for provisions. I'm trying to find the grocery store. And then make the decision to leave Great Inagua in favor of sitting through more passing storms out at sea. We've got a really heavy squall here rolling in. Soon I'll be setting out on a 1,000 nautical mile solo sail to Guatemala. Please consider subscribing so you don't miss it. And as always, thanks for watching. This is pretty much the worst of it. I'm assuming